Hi, my name is Meg, and welcome to this video on learning. In this video, I'm going to provide a background on what learning is, why is it important in the context of developing machine learning models, and how we can relate it to some of the intuitive understandings of learning that we engage in every day. We learn every single day. We learn through reading, watching movies, listening to lectures, and learning by example, seeing what someone has done in the past. We often learn also by doing, by experiencing things, making mistakes, and improving, iterating slowly on our actions to make them better. We can also learn by immersing ourselves in audio and visual experiences that allow us to pick up patterns subtly in our everyday lives and then incorporate them into our processes. To take you back to a very ancient time in ancient Greece, a very common example of a great teacher was Socrates. He taught in the streets of Athens. Without a formal setup of student to teacher, he would ask questions of his students, discussing at the level of ideas. And learning was always a back and forth conversation to Socrates. He would engage in what was called Socratic dialogues. Socratic dialogue was how Socrates engaged with his students to critically delve into a topic. He would ask a question, they would provide an attempt at an answer, and continually provide the next step as he would check every step in their logic. Much like that, we learn today through the many ways that we've seen already. But why is this relevant to machine learning? Machine learning has increasingly surrounded us in many industries, including automating processes, improving workflows in manufacturing, and it depends substantially on the type of data that we feed it. The data can be numbers, such as time series stock market data, it can include text and images. And the model learns by seeing lots and lots of examples, and the greater the variety, the more we can control for bias in the data. The model then sees a pattern from all of these examples, and that's how it learns, much like a student learning from seeing many examples in a textbook and practicing to recreate those examples, which is what we call predictions. We see examples of machine learning applied to manufacturing, to the banking industry and the financial data available, as well as in healthcare, where there's tremendous advances being made in automating diagnostic applications. Machine learning models can help us make better decisions. They learn from data that we feed it and can see patterns faster and look at larger amounts of data than humanly possible as there have been computational advances. So how exactly does a model learn? It learns by having some measure of performance for completing a given objective or task. And then we can measure that, see how well it's doing or how well it's learning. For classification examples, for instance, in classifying an image as a dog or a cat, we call this the accuracy of the model. And it really depends on the data set and exactly what the outcome of the model is. Data set is a collection of examples, and we can see two general types of learning based on the kind of data set that we have. Unsupervised learning is the first type of learning that we're going to discuss where there is no teacher. So there's no Socrates guiding a student step by step through the logic to tell the student if they're right or wrong. There's only inputs to generally learn the probability distribution or other properties of the data. It's often used to perform cluster analysis or find groupings inherent in the data and can be a very powerful tool. Now, the second type of learning is supervised learning, and this is a data set that has a target or a label associated with each sample in the training set that has information from the instructor or teacher that tells the model when it predicts whether it is right or not. This is a lot like Socrates guiding his student in conversation every step of the logical path to say, yes, you're on the right track, or no, you're not. And in this way, supervised learning can be a very powerful technique, and it's also the most commonly used technique in machine learning. To recap what we've discussed, we've learned machine learning models learn from data, and the more data, the better. So as they see myriad of examples, they can learn lots of different patterns in the data and behaviors. There are lots of examples in industry where models have been shown to improve decision making and help increase efficiency. The type of learning of which we learn two types depends on the data set and the desired goal. So we learned about unsupervised learning where there is no target or label in the data set, and supervised learning where there is that supervised or instructor input. And much like we learned from the example in ancient Athens of Socrates speaking in conversational dialogue with his student, that learning is a process and it can increase its accuracy over time through model training. So this video provided a very brief introduction to why learning is important and also serves as a background for the next video, where I will discuss how a supervised machine learning model works. Thank you very much for watching.